We're seeing a lot of people right now who are interested in selling their business. And I think that the pandemic probably had a lot to do with this and just the overall economy. And then, of course, we've got an aging population that started businesses and may not want to run them anymore. And we've seen two major issues come up that didn't exist before the pandemic that are throwing a wrench into the gears of actually closing on these transactions and selling the businesses. The first major issue that we're seeing when someone tries to sell their business is they took out an EIDL loan during the pandemic. These were the economic impact loans that people could get up to $500,000 or $2 million pretty easily. And those are now sitting on the books of these companies. Most of them have a 30-year repayment term. What most business owners don't understand is that there's a lien on the assets of the business. They signed what's called a UCC-1 form when they took out that EIDL loan, and you actually can't sell your business without paying off that loan or without getting the SBA's permission. And I think a lot of business owners don't realize that until it's too late. Now, it's not necessarily a deal breaker. It may not be a huge issue with your transaction, but it's one more thing that you do have to worry about. And we're seeing it happen more and more frequently as more of these deals come across the table. The second issue that we're seeing when it comes to selling a business relates to the employee retention tax credit. Now, you may be familiar with this program. It's this tax credit that was created as part of the pandemic where you could get up to $26,000 per employee. For a lot of businesses, this is tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars that the government is sending them. The problem is it takes a really long time to get the money, in some cases, 6 or 7 or 8 months. So what we've seen some business owners try to do is exclude the amount of that tax credit from the business transaction. And this is creating a whole bunch of headaches because the IRS actually mails out a check. And if it goes to a business that you used to own, you may not actually receive that money. So it's just another issue that's come up related to selling businesses that didn't exist prior to the pandemic that we just have to deal with now among all of the other issues that we have to deal with. Now, those are two problems that we've seen created because of the pandemic and because of the economy when it comes to selling a business. But there's one huge opportunity right now that didn't exist prior to the pandemic. Right now, we have a whole lot of really willing sellers, which means you can get a good deal. You can get a good price on a business because chances are the person has way less interest in running this business now than they did prior to the pandemic. They're dealing with a bunch of economic issues. They've gone through the headaches of PPP loans and all of this other stuff, and they just don't want to deal with it anymore. And that means there's good deals to be found. If you'd like some more free information on buying and selling businesses and some of the issues that come up, we've got a free resource available, and you can click the link on this page.